So this video is to show you how you will use OneNote with your students. Some of us will have our students work in OneNote, and some of us will have our students use OneNote to just look at as they do work. Doesn't matter how you have your students use OneNote. I'm going to show you a couple of options. So first, for my students, I would have them create their math OneNote notebook at the beginning of the year. So I would tell them to go to File, New. We want them to set it up on the Sharepoint, so we'd have them choose Network, have them name their notebook. Now, this is really important. You may or may not know if you're going to check their work via OneNote. So if you are not absolutely sure about this, or if you know you're going to be checking their work as they write on OneNote, I would suggest having them name their notebook using their name first. So how they name it's going to be very, very helpful to you. So for example, I might have a student name theirs Dungan, Ben, using Ben Dungan as an example, Math 7. Then I would have them come down to the network location. They would type in this path that we've been using, https://sharepoint.careacademy.org/homework. Then they would click on Browse. Now I'm going to pretend that I'm Ben Dungan, so I'm going to borrow his location. I'm going to click on Students. So you would have your students. So I'm pretending to be Ben. You would have your students go to Students. They should only see their folder when they click on Students. I'm going to go to Ben's, but his should pop up automatically because he can't see, he won't be able to see anybody else's. So this is what will pop up for Ben. And then he would click Select because this is the folder he wants to select. And this is where his new notebook is going to go for Math 7. And I'll show you why I had him name it this way later. So we click on Create Notebook and allow that notebook to be created. So Ben has just created his math notebook. And train them to click No Thanks at this point. If I scroll down on the left-hand side, I'll always see the most recent notebook that was opened or created. So Ben Dungan's math notebook is there. Now personally, at this point, I may have them go ahead and drag in sections, drag in trimesters, or whatever. It depends on how you want to set this up. So for Ben, I may tell him to go to my notebook. So he would go File, Open. And when he goes to open, I'm going to have him click on Browse. Type in the HTTPS, and actually at this point hopefully it's showing up in my drop down list here so I don't have to type it every time. So I'm going to click on the drop down list and choose HTTPS, SharePoint, all that good stuff. I'm going to have my students go to Faculty and choose my name. So here's my name. They'd click on it. And there's Math 7, so he's in my Math 7 class, so he opens it up, and maybe I want to do one trimester at a time. If I want him to open one trimester at a time, I'd have him click on trimester 1 and click Open. Maybe I want him to open one unit at a time, so then I'd have him double click, and if our first unit here is whole numbers, I'd have him click on whole numbers and click Open, and I probably will do it by unit. So when he clicks on Open, it opens up, and then you click on Open Notebook, double click, and it opens up. One of the things that you may want to do is have your students' workbooks open so that you can check their homework and see what they're doing. For example, I have Eileen Daly's here, and I can click on her workbook and check anything in here that I would like. So I can expand it, look through her work. I can grade it right there, so I never have to have anything emailed or sent back. It's nice and simple. So let's see how to do that. Basically, you already know. You just go File, Open, Click on Browse. And then come up here, click on the down arrow. You've now typed SharePoint plenty of times, so you can click it from the history and hit enter on your keyboard. And this time you're going to double click on Students and go find any students that you're interested in keeping up with their work. I'm going to try Alex Udell, and there's one for her. I'm going to double click on Open Notebook, and that opens her notebook up for me. So as I open their notebooks, I can see over here, I can just click from student to student and check their work very quickly. Another way you can do this that may be faster is go directly to SharePoint. After you click on the student's name, you'll see their OneNote notebook. Click to open their OneNote notebook. Look for a file that says Open Notebook like this. Click on it, click OK, and just do that for every child in your class that you're going to be grading their work. You'll end up with a lot of names over here, but that's okay because remember, you can minimize them using these arrows.